months of the year 2015-16. This reporting period shows an increase in concerns or complaints received compared to last year. The increase in complaints and concerns may be attributed to action the Council have taken to improve the avenues residents can use to get in touch with us, in particular social media, including Twitter. We just have to be aware that we need to consider the impact of the complaints process when we implement a new range of digital channels to ensure that complaints are captured and dealt with properly. It's really positive to see that performance is quite strong, with 98% of complaints responded to within the time frame. 1,670 members' inquiries were received, of which 98% were responded to within the time frame. The average time taken to respond to members' inquiries across all the directorates was 6 calendar days, which I think is really encouraging. There is a lot of detail in the report, and I think there are particular areas where there are of the council where there are more complaints than others, and I think this is going to be further investigated, and root causes and analysis will be undertaken with certain service areas. That said, I'll just remove the report, the recommendations 1.1 and 1.2.
Victoria,
I have a
thank you.
comment, only because as Victoria said it, she sort of glanced her eyes this way, in that probably the biggest number of complaints, concerns, inquiries would probably come to housing with our repair service transforming homes. And you'd expect that we would have, the numbers would be higher than others, considering we carry out 40,000 repairs a year. You know, we probably get about 1,000 a month. So I have asked officers, I've read this, highlighted it, you know, customer satisfaction is hovering around 88%, been there for 18 months, you know. I'd like to have seen it go up. So what we've done is we're going to drill down a little bit, and officers are going to start to look in at inquiries around trade rather than just inquiries as a whole. You know, complaints. How does something get from a concern to a complaint? If something's raised as a concern, I'd like to see those numbers come down a little. So we're going to be doing a bigger piece of work on this. And I've also asked officers to facilitate a cross-party visit to the customer services. We bring our residents to see how their work's going, you know, are they pleased with their repair or their transforming homes, and I think that people say that, you know, they get told by the residents, councillors will come and say, like, oh, we get told by our residents that it's the level of service and the repairs, and I think there's a cross-party group needs to go and visit the customer care and hear some of these telephone conversations, and for those that are brave enough, actually telephone a few of our residents and carry out those surveys for us. So in the next week or so, I'll be getting housing to contact the leaders for them to nominate who comes with me to do this visit, so that we can have a look at exactly how we do survey, because I take on board, you know, that we do want to see our numbers go down, but at the same time I think that we have to applaud the fact that our complaint services works, and it works really well. So it's a really good report, and I found it, not just in my directorate, I read all of it and I found it really interesting, but thought I should only speak in my own directorate.
Anybody else? One, where we look at feedback on the most common complaints, we identify the trends, we identify the way that's provided for each separate directorate, including the kind of data on complaint outcomes, and it tells us what lessons have been learned. And you know, I just genuinely welcome complaints. I think that a good complaints process is a really important part for any organisation in learning and improving. And we know that we are far, far from perfect. Why we need to be studying this kind of complaints data that we get and analysing those complaints and just making sure that we learn lessons where the lessons are there. So I do welcome this. I think it's a good report. I think Victoria will have a similar report in another 6 months. you. Okay, do you want to